Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Fleabag on Amazon Prime. It's created and it stars Phoebe something Bridge. I forget her name. Oh, I totally forgot her name, but I know her name's Phoebe and it has the word bridge in it. So in a way, yeah, it's this extremely hilarious show on Amazon Prime. And I'm so glad I found this years ago. See, when I got Amazon Prime many years ago, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I could not find nothing for the life of me to watch on there. Now, back then, Amazon Prime was a little bit different. They had their original stuff for free, but when it came to a lot of the older stuff, like older shows from like the 80s, 90s, stuff like that, you had to pay additional money just to watch it, which I did not understand why. They've changed that now, but on some stuff, you still have to pay, like Craps Creatures. And so for the death of me, or life of me, I was trying to like find just something to watch, and I couldn't. So when I couldn't find nothing in the adult section, I went to the kids section. Like, okay, whatever. I just watch it like a cool kid comedy or action show, something like that. And so that's how I ended up finding Just Add Magic. But then I'm like, okay, I can't just keep watching like kid crap. I gotta watch some like adult stuff. So then I end up finding Catastrophe. And then I end up finding like Fleabag. And when I found Fleabag, I'm just like, holy crap, man, this is hilarious. Her breaking the fourth wall, all those strange looks that she always gives in the camera, like how she reacts to people in real time. Like, it was just hilarious. And I haven't really saw nothing like that since, I think it was even before Deadpool probably came out. But I haven't saw nothing like that probably since like the, what's that show called? Saved by the Bell with the Zach character, you know? Or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will when he used to break the fourth wall every now and then. But Zach used to do it a lot. And you know, there are some people who are really good at breaking the fourth wall, like Paul Mark Goslin. I think that's his name, who plays Zach from Saved by the Bell. Like, he's really good at doing it. And then there are some people who are really bad at doing it, like this one show called Malibu, was it California Malibu? Is it Malibu something? It was a show on NBC, one of them teen shows, like a comedy. They used to come on the comedy bar. I think it was called, I know it was called Malibu. I think it was called Malibu CA, I think. And that show is just okay. Like, it's just all right. But when those two main stars kept breaking the fourth wall, it was very irritating because they didn't do a good job at it. But Phoebe Tyler-Bridge, that's her name. When Phoebe Tyler-Bridge does it, boy, she is hilarious. And when she's like irritated, that weird, irritated, scrunchy look she gives on her face is priceless. It's golden. Like, I just love it. Now, when watching this series, something I never realized is that I never knew the character's name. And that's only because they never mention it, like, you know, in like the first season. I'm not even sure if they even mentioned it in the second season. All I remember is that when I followed the show on Twitter, they kept calling her Fleabag. I'm like, why are they calling her Fleabag for? Like, that's the name of the show. And then so I went on Wikipedia, I'm like, oh crap. That's her actual name. Like, how do you go through a season without calling the main character by name whatsoever? Like, never once do they ever call her that. And you don't pick up on it. And then after the second season, when I found out it's not getting renewed for a third, they say if it does, it'll be many years, probably decades. But for right now, the actress doesn't want to do it. She wants to end it and stuff like that. I never knew it was based on a play. And it's like, wow, man, like, this is great. Like, you know, this woman, she created her own play and then it turned into like a TV show. And so many people love it and it's won like awards and stuff. Like, that's just great. Now, because this is a European show, it does that format of only 6 episodes, which, God, I wish there could have been more, but there's only 6. But there is a second season, a 6th episode as well. I love the first season. The second season, not as much. I don't know what it is about the second season, but it just didn't have that same appeal to me as the first season. One of the things that irritated me in the second season was the music. It was like all I remember is hearing this loud orchestra type music in the background, like whoa, whoa, like that, like constantly in the most bizarre places. I'm just like, why are they doing this for? And some of the jokes just didn't land, and the storylines I just didn't really care for. I really didn't care for her falling in love with like the Reverend dude, whatever. But it's like, yeah, but the first season I just love to death because we get to like, figure out who this character is, and her day-to-day life, and all the people she interacts in, and it's just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? However, the character of Fleabag is an extremely flawed character. But you root for her, and there's reasons why. And I explained that in my, flight attendant video. But I'll do it again at the end of this video because she is a very flawed character. But you root for her because you end up liking her. So, Fleabag. It starts off, she's on the bus and she's being stared at by a guy. And when she looks at him, she sees he has extremely bad teeth. And I mean really bad teeth. Like stereotypical English type teeth. Pretty much this dude is every stereotype when it comes to a nerdy guy and a British person. Like, you know how the stereotype, the running gag of most shows when it comes to British people is that they have extremely bad teeth. And I'm hoping to God this dude's teeth are fake in his mouth, because if not, I feel bad for this dude, because people probably made fun of him. But also, he is super, super, super annoying. And it's just like he's desperate, clingy type, So in a way, he's into her, and she's not into him. And he tries talking to her, and you can see she's clearly not into him. And she lets the audience know. That's the one thing I said before. She breaks the fourth wall. And she reacts in real time. That what makes a lot of her jokes so hilarious, especially her facial expressions and stuff. And so he pretty much asked for her number. And you assume, since she's not into him, she's going to say no. And she's about to, but then she's like, sure. And then she just ends up giving it to him. And I'm just like, huh? So then, he asked, if you have anybody you're dating and stuff like that. And I think he asked that. I'm not sure. It's either that or his sister, her sister. As, you still seeing this dude. And the dude that she's kind of on again, off again, named Harry. Harry is a very, very nice, extremely emotional guy. He wants nothing but to please her. He's desperate to be in a relationship. But she finds him to be very soft, especially in the bedroom. See, the only thing he wants to do is make nice, flowery love to her. And all she wants is an extremely good clickety-clack situation. And so, she just wants to be drilled hard and fast and rough. And he doesn't give it to her like that. And it's to the point where when she's not satisfied with him, she takes care of herself. And he finds out in the most hilarious way. See, at that time, Obama was still president. Or maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was his last year. And I think Trump was coming in. But I forget when this show came out. I think, was it 2016? I think that's around the time I got Amazon Prime. Anyway. So if it's 2016, then yeah, Trump had came in. And so she was watching an old video of Obama. And as Obama is talking, it turns her on. To the point where she puts her hands under her covers and she just starts double clicking her mouse. So her boyfriend walks in and then she tries to slam the laptop. He's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Nothing." And he's like, "Oh, I know what you was doing." And everything. And so basically they just she just, yeah, that really upsets him to the point I think he ends up leaving. Now she states that one of the great things about him is that she can always get him to come back. Whether it's showing up to his place in just a robe and flashing her underwear or being completely naked, that always makes him come back. Or saying that she really needs him. But one of the interesting things is that when she wants her apartment clean, because they live together, when she wants her apartment clean, she breaks up with him. Why? Because, well, he is a neat freak. And when he gets emotional, he wants to do nothing but clean. So she will break up with him as soon as her apartment is like really filthy and he starts crying and just starts cleaning. I'm just like, dude, that's like total usement right there. Like she's totally using him and stuff. And then so like he's always like, I'm gonna leave you and I'm never coming back and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And so, but he leaves behind a little dinosaur just so he'll have an excuse to come back and see her. And then that's when they get back together. So he's her on again, off again, like buddy. But she does mess around with other guys. She messes around with a lot of guys to the point where she has a reputation around town with her family and this and that. She basically sleeps with any guy she meets and stuff. And she has a really low self-esteem. And it's probably because of her daddy issues. Let's put a pin in him for now. So in this 6-episode arc, we just get to see like the daily motions of her life. She runs a cafe. And it's a really struggling business where barely nobody comes in. And like literally she never has like no customers. And if she does, it's only like 1 or 2. And so she used to own it with her friend named Boo. And Boo was her best friend. She loved Boo to death and Boo loved her back. But Boo committed suicide when she found out that her boyfriend had an affair. So she didn't try to kill herself. What it was is that she wanted him to feel like sad for her. So she saw like some people riding bikes in the street and thought she would hop in front of them. So she'll get banged up. She was hoping to live. Well, she got hit by a bike. Then she got hit by a car. Then she got hit by another bike. And well, she died. And so, yeah. And so Fleabag has been like sad and mourning her ever since. There are tons of flashbacks with her and Boo because she just can't stop thinking about her. Now, because Fleabag business is doing extremely bad, it causes her to steal. She is a kleptomaniac. She will steal from anybody and anyone. The dude with the bad teeth. So, like, she really is not into him, and she needs him to, like, just leave her alone. So, of course, what she's going to do, be rude to him. And she's just being nasty, snarky, and rude all to his face. To the point where they kind of have like a breakup, but they're not really dating. And so when he turns around and leaves, she steals like money from him. And he almost catches her. And she just like looks at him because she almost got caught. And then so she's being even more rude to him. And then she goes off to leave, but she drops the money. And he's like, oh, hey, you dropped this. He has no idea it's his money. And so, like, whenever, like, people come into her business, like this one dude, oh, the black dude's hilarious. The black dude is like me a couple of years ago when I had to have my internet shut off because I was going through some money problems and stuff. And so I just couldn't afford, like, the internet. And so it's just like, whatever, man. And it's like, crap. But I really want to, like, do stuff on the internet and watch like TV on the internet. So what I'll do is I'll go to a restaurant with my like rechargeable plugs and stuff. I'll jack them into the wall and I'll always have this one spot 'cause that's where the outlet is. And it was really near the restroom, so it was great. And I would just be there for hours and hours and hours, just using the electricity, using the Wi-Fi, watching TV, and not buying a single thing. I know it's wrong, but whatever. If it's free Wi-Fi and they let you do it, just do it. But to be nice, just buy at least one thing, which one time I did. I did actually buy a sandwich once or twice just to be nice. And then once my Wi-Fi got back on in my house, I never went back there again. In fact, I've never even ate there again. I don't even really like the food they have there. It's not that great. This other place is a whole lot better. And so the one black dude does that. And it's this cute little montage of him taking out all his electrical devices, all his plugs, and just plugging everything in one at a time and being comfortable. And she's like, sure you don't want nothing to eat? It's like, nah, I'm good. Now, she's also a little cheap. Now, when I say like her place is struggling, there's these two women walking in from like yoga class, and they want to know if she has any organic food. She's like, sure. She lies to him, of course. She goes to the supermarket, buys something organic. I think they wanted what's that thing Chef Ramsay always cooking? Risotto. And so she buys that. And it's microwavable. So she goes back to her place and she's just microwaving it. Like right in front of them. They can see her, but they don't pay attention. And so, of course, she's going to charge them a lot of money. However, they are unable to eat and unable to pay. Why? Because they see a guinea pig and it scares the bejesus out of them. Her guinea pigs are Boo guinea pigs, and Boo loved those guinea pigs to death. So she keeps them as a reminder of who Boo was and stuff. And she will not get rid of them, no matter how much it freaks people out. And it freaks everybody out to the point where they don't want to eat at her place. But she keeps them there. The smart thing to do is to get rid of them so you can have a business, but she just can't let go of her Boo. Now, let's get into her father for a little bit. Now, when I say like she's a likable character, even though she is flawed, it is because of everybody who hates her. Her dad flats out hates her and wants nothing whatsoever to do with her. When she shows up at his place, he doesn't even really want to let her in, and he's all like, she's upset, she's really distraught. He's all like, I'll get you a cab. Even though there's a cab already out there. But then later on the cab ends up leaving. Like he doesn't even want her to stay. He doesn't even want to know what's wrong with her. He just gets her a cab. And he tells her to come in, but not to go upstairs. Well, she does it anyway. And up there is her stepmom. A woman who's a little bit younger than her dad. Her real mom died a few years ago. And so her stepmom's this painter. And for the most part, her stepmom is nice at first to her. But then as they're talking, Fleabag eyes a little statue. And this little statue's like, and the woman tells her, oh, it's worth thousands. That makes Fleabag happy to the point where she steals it. The woman can kind of see that and takes it away from her and put it on the shelf. But Fleabag ends up stealing it anyways. And so when she leaves, the couple of days later, her dad comes there. And her dad's kind of like being nice, like, oh, hey, how you doing and everything. Good, good. He doesn't have anything else to say. And then he just asks her straight up, did you steal from my new wife and everything? She's like, no. He's like, well, a statue went missing. She's like, well, I don't know how it happened. He's like, oh, okay, just wanted to make sure and everything. Well, bye. And it's just like he just straight up ends up like leaving her after that. And it's just like, he has no sympathy, no remorse, but he knows her business is struggling. He sees nobody in there, and he points that out. And it's just like, it makes you wonder, what did she do growing up that caused him to be this way? Or maybe he's just always been this way just to be this way. And I think that's why she has man problems. Like, there's nothing in her history to suggest she was ever assaulted. So she has daddy issues. Because when some people are assaulted, they end up one of the following ways. Either, let's take women for example. Either they're repulsed completely by men and leave men alone, but they're still straight. Or they're repulsed by men and they become a lesbian. Or they become or they're just completely normal and they just live their life and they'll date whoever. Or they become very, 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 very sexually active. To the point where they'll just sleep with anybody. And they're very wild and stuff. And it's because of all that trauma they have from when that bad thing happened to them. But there's nothing in her past that suggests that. So I'm assuming it's just because her father just does not love her. He loves his other daughter, her sister, which we'll put a pin in that for a little bit for now. So it's really sad to see, they can't get along. She tries to, be close to him, but he just won't do it. And it's not even just her family that's rude to her, it's other people. She goes to get a loan, and so while she's there, she's talking to the loan dude and the bank dude, whatever you call him. And so something happens, I forget, something happens with her shirt where she lifts it up and then you see her bra or something like that. And she's like, oops, I thought I had another shirt underneath there. And he's like, no, you didn't. You were trying to bribe me for a loan because I denied you or something like that. And she's like, no, I promise. I wasn't trying to flash you or nothing like that or trying to come on to you. I was literally just trying to like, get along, and I was just like raising my shirt up thinking I had another shirt underneath there. He's all like, no, I see your games. Like, you're just trying to like seduce me into getting what you want. And so he denies her that long. And so as she's getting up, I don't know if she says anything to him first, but he calls her a slut, and that pisses her off and stuff. And let's put a pin in this dude for a little bit later. And then we get her sister. Her sister is this very gorgeous, very successful woman who is married, but she is an extreme control freak. She literally plans out every aspect of her life to the point where she's having a birthday party and she wants a surprise birthday party. She literally tells them, hey, look, I want a surprise birthday party. And it's gonna be like this. And she plans out her surprise birthday party where she wants everybody to stay a certain way. She doesn't want nobody to hide, this and that. And so when she goes there, she pretends to be surprised, even though she's not, because she completely micromanaged the entire thing. And it's bizarre. It's kind of like her sister's stress level is like above her head, to where she feels like, every little thing has to be perfect. And then that one thing that's not perfect in her life is her sister. And she cannot stand her sister. Her sister is always late for stuff. Her sister has money troubles. Her sister just sleeps around. Her sister thinks everything's funny. And it's just like, that's the complete opposite of who she is. And so, like, one of the things Fleabag does is that she has this husband. Not Fleabag, but her sister. And she tries to sell the statue to him so he can sell it like on the black market type thing. And so it's like, even though her sister can't stand, like, she will berate Fleabag to her face. Like, she is so condescending to that woman. And it's just so sad and depressing to see. But then you'll see her lighten up and be all like, do you need anything? You sure you don't need no money? And Fleabag wants so badly to ask her for money, but she just can't do it. Because she knows the end result of how it would be. It'll make her feel shamed, and her sister will just berate her as she's giving her the money. And so, now let's get to her husband for a second. Her husband's nasty, sick, perverted, depraved, like, ugh, you know what I'm saying? Now it's funny because the actor who plays him played the same type of role in another show called Another Period, which is a great show on Comedy Central that got canceled after 2 or 3 seasons. And it's like this weird. He's playing like these perverted, nasty, disgusting characters. And like, I've never seen him play anything else other than that. And so, to describe her husband, think of WWE wrestler legend Ric Flair on the plane ride to hell. Him exposing himself allegedly. Him always like having women touch him allegedly. Being perverted to women allegedly. Combine that with Stifler from the American Pie movies. Just not funny. And that is who her husband is. He's sick. He's depraved. He's perverted. He's always making sex jokes. And he's never funny. And so it's like one day for her birthday party, he's looking to buy her a gift and he just can't like think of anything. And like, so at some point in time, he's talking to Flea and they're talking and he just straight up kisses her without her permission. And she is visibly like sick from this. Like she is just like, oh my God, I can't believe what he did to her. Like he literally assaulted her and stuff without her permission. And yes, kissing without permission is assault. And so it's like she is beside herself and her expression just says it all like really good. It was almost like she was like ripped apart and like just done into, you know? It was like that. And so like, let's now get back into her sister. So one interesting thing about both Fleabag and her sister is that they want to be feminists. But Phoebe fails at being one. Her sister actually is one, but she doesn't feel as though she is one. She feels though there's something missing in her life, something that's incomplete. So they go on this retreat. And it's a feminist retreat. It's one where they have to be in complete silence and basically just clean this like woman's like mansion house thing. And so one thing, they're supposed to be silent, but they can't be silent because they're too busy goofing around with each other, and they constantly get in trouble. At some point in time, when they're actually bonding, Flea tells her, your husband tried to kiss me. And then her sister just kind of like, did he? Did he actually do it? Or did he try? And she's like, yeah, he actually did it. And her sister's just kind of like disgusted by it. And she just goes to sleep. The next day at the retreat, Fleabag's doing like her thing. And her sister is not like present. We don't see her. So I'll get into some part later, but let's get back into this. So one next day, she's looking for her sister. And so, no, wait. Okay, after this, let me just tell you what happens before I get back to the sister. So let me put a pin in the sister for now. So while after the retreat, they can hear people shouting. It's a bunch of men saying the word slut and whore. And so Fleabag answers like, yes. Because she's constantly getting called that by other people. And so she's really curious. She wants to know what this thing is about. So she constantly sneaks off and she goes over to the male retreat. It's a bunch of men trying to regain their manhood, basically, by not being used by women and stuff. And so they talk about women will use you, they're sluts, they're this and that, and blah, 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 stuff like that. And so, like, while she's there, she sees the bank loan guy and she waves at him and everything. He's just like looking at her. And so when another guy sees it, he's just like, slut, slut, slut. Like anytime he sees a woman, he just calls him a slut now. And so this other guy who's like really nervous, he comes up to her, he's like, it's not a good idea for you to be here. It's not a safe, good idea to be here with all these men hating on women and stuff. So she leaves, but then she later goes back to the male retreat. And so, like, I don't know if this happened before or after. I think wait, this happened. So anyway, let's put a pin in that for now. So after that, she goes to sleep and she decides to lay in the bed next to her sister and everything. When she wakes up, her sister's completely gone. Like, just disappeared. All her stuff is gone. So she goes and she asks where her sister is. And her sister basically just said she needed time to herself and she went back home. Basically, her sister abandoned her after she found out what her husband did to her. She just could not be near her sister. And what's so jacked up about that is, let's put a pin in that for now, and let's get back to the bank loan dude. So the other guys convinced bank loan dude to talk to Fleabag, and he does, and he apologizes for when he called her a slut in the first episode. And so, mind you, we're on the 4th episode now. And so he tells her everything that's going on in his life and how he's just sad and feels bad and all this other stuff. But she's not allowed to talk because that whole retreat thing. But she can talk, but she's just playing with him. And so he's just pouring his heart and soul out to her. And, you know, and so when she does finally talk, she tells him straight up, like, she's just sad in life and all she wants to do every day, all day, is just roll up in the ball and cry. And when she says it, she does it in this really sympathetic type way that causes you just to love this character. This is why it's so hard to hate on her, even though she's flawed. Because we see the stuff she goes through and why her life sucks. And all she wants to do, and she's an extremely sad, depressed woman. And who isn't like that, you know, where things just aren't working out for you and life is sad and tragic. And it's like, all you want to do is just like sit down, be depressed or cry. And it's really like, it tugs on your heartstrings, you know. And I really wasn't expecting that moment to happen or nothing. I was expecting for her either to do one or two things. Either just straight up forgive him because she sees the type of resort he's in, why he called her that, or for her to like let him have it because she's a really rude person and she lets people have it. But she doesn't. She she opens up to him. And you know, sometimes it's weird because like you can try to open up to your friends and they tell you, you know, I'm there for you, I want to hear your problems. Deep down inside, they do not. When you constantly go back to them, They are like, look, I don't have time to hear your problems. I got my own problems. Or they see you as being annoying or whining. That's how family and friends are. You can go to them with your problems, but deep down inside, they do not want to hear it at all. And so that's how a lot of people are. Not everybody, but a good majority of them are. And they see you as being whiny and stuff and tell you, oh, toughen up. However, it's interesting. You can have this same conversation with a stranger, and for the most part, a stranger will, for some reason, listen to you and give you a sympathetic ear and some really good advice. And it's just strange how that is, you know? I've done that to plenty of people and stuff. Like, I've just like listened to their problems and I've given them advice. But then, of course, when you give them advice, they don't listen to you. And then months and years later, they come back and like, see, you was right and I should have listened to you. I'm like, duh, because I was right. Now I don't listen to nobody's problems because I'm getting tired of people not listening to me, them constantly messing up. And for them to come back months or years or decades later, like, you was right, I was wrong. I'm like, duh, and I don't want to talk to you. It's part of the reason why I just can't stand people no more. Now back to her sister. So it's a weird, interesting, symbiotic type message. See, when Fleabag was looking to buy her sister a gift for her birthday, she called up the bad tooth guy because she needed a date for like her sister's birthday party. And so they're out in the store looking for a gift. And they go to a sex store because her sister just not getting it from her husband. It's weird. He's so perverted. You think he'll be good in bed, but he's not. So anyway, she buys her a vibrator. And on the retreat, her sister brings some batteries. And she's all like, why you bring tiny batteries for? She's all like, I just wanted to. And she finds out the reason why, because she brought her toy with her. Well, when she abandons her sister, or when her sister abandons Flea, her sister leaves behind the batteries for her toy. She kept the toy, but she left the batteries. And, and that's when Flea really got the message that her sister truly abandoned her and left her behind. It wasn't so much that, she packed up her stuff. Maybe she thought to herself, okay, maybe she went into like a different room and stayed there. But no, her sister literally just straight up like just abandons her at one of her weakest moments and stuff. Phoebe Walker-Bridge, that's it. I could not think of that to like save my life, but that's her name, Phoebe Walker-Bridge. However, when it comes to her sister Claire, you gotta think of it like this. Even though Flea knows that her sister has abandoned her and left her, she only left the batteries. Why wouldn't she leave the actual toy itself? Because the toy is what Fleabag bought her. The batteries are just something Claire brought with her. See, it's like the whole dinosaur thing. She knows that Claire will be back for the batteries. And who has the batteries? Fleabag. So she'll have to see her eventually, or she could just always go buy her own new batteries. So even though her sister has abandoned her, her sister never truly, fully, 100% abandons her in life because she's always there for her. Her sister is literally the only friend she has, and her sister realizes that and stuff. And plus, you gotta think about it. Her sister can't be that stupid not to know that her husband doesn't do something on the side, or at least tries to do something. Because Flea only told her he tried to do something. But her sister straight up was like, did he actually do it? Because she suspects things about her husband. But here's the thing, just like she'll never abandon her sister, she'll never abandon her husband. See, Claire is this successful feminist type woman, but she doesn't feel like she's a true feminist and stuff. But if she leaves her man because he is a cheater, then it's going to show that she's like a loser and stuff. She could not hold on to her man. She could not make her marriage work. And that's one of the worst things that a person wants to feel. And, being this whole feminist like icon she wants to be, you can't be that if you have like a broken marriage and you can't like fix it and stuff. So in her mind, if she abandons her husband, just straight up leaves him, that's going to make her flawed. even though she feels there's a slight flawness in her, to why she can't accept that she is a true feminist and stuff. So in the 5th episode, she reunites with Claire, and they're going to their dad's house. So, of course, their godmother lives there. Yes, that's actually who it is. It's the godmother, not the stepmother. They're not married yet. But yeah, 3 years after their mom died, he ended up like hooking up with their godmother. And so while they're there, they're talking and stuff. And this is actually a turnaround point for her life in this episode. She has a new guy, and this is a guy she actually likes. He's a bit more confident. He has a motorcycle. He's not like mushy and nothing like that. I guess the guy she likes, and her godmother really likes him over and over in this episode. She keeps repeating how he's a good looking man and everything. And so one good turning point is that Claire tells her that she's gonna dump Martin and that she's gonna go to Finland and she's gonna help her out with her struggling business, because Fleabag let the beans spill that Claire got a promotion and that it's in Finland, but she doesn't want to take it, and she doesn't want to say why she doesn't want to take it, because of course it's Martin. But later on she does convince herself she is gonna go, because Martin's no good and her teenage stepson is no good. Her teenage stepson is about as bad as the dad is. Like, we only see like a cameo of him, and the only part we see of him is like his midsection and his like butt area and underwear. Because what it is that every time she takes a bath, he comes in his underwear and he gets in the tub with her. Like, seriously, why is she with these people? They're both perverted. Ugh, I swear, man. Also in this episode, Claire gives her back the statue and tells her to give it, like, put it back where you found it and all this stuff. Now, of course, when she puts it back where she found it, it's going to be suspicious, but they do it anyway. And then those two have a really good bonding moment when they're putting the statue back, and then the godmother comes in. And she's talking about how she's had to have this sex exhibition of her art, where there's like a lot of sexual stuff in her art. And so she wants both of them to be there. And then so at some point, she does confront Fleabag about the statue, talking about, oh, it mysteriously came back. So they have a discussion, and it's not very good. And I believe Fleabag pushes her, and then the godmother just slaps her in the face. And the dad sees that. And her face is all red, and basically he doesn't even stand up for his daughter, like, at all. However, in this episode, he does have a nice little bonding moment with her. That's another good turning point, where they actually talk and everything, and they're actually getting along. But he doesn't bring up like the slap and stuff. But anyways, she rides off into the sunset on the motorcycle, or on the back of the motorcycle with her boy. And so it's like, her new boy toy and stuff. And so you think everything's going to be pretty good for her and stuff. She's about to get help with her business. Her family's coming along to her. Everything so far is like going good. But, this is the Fleabag show. Now, one thing I did not mention. When she was somewhere, I forgot where she was at, but she was somewhere. It might be in a shoe store or something. And she sees a black guy. And when she sees him, it's a very awkward moment between both of them. And it's a strange moment. And then you start getting, of course, flashbacks of like her, I think, like unzipping somebody's pants and this and that, and a couple of boo flashbacks. So something's up. And you can probably guess, like, what it is, but you can't quite figure it out because the show doesn't really point you too much in that direction, but it's starting to get you in that direction. Now we get to the last episode, and the last episode is a doozy. Like, it is a doozy. Some of the stuff that happens in this, it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So she's at the little sex exhibition thing, and so she's not there as a guest, she's there as a caterer. That's who her godmother wanted her to be as. So she's over there serving drinks and all this other stuff. She's with her new guy, and they're all mingling and everything, and she doesn't know where Claire is at. Claire is very, very late, which is unusual for her. So then, when So then at some point, her and her dad, they start having more of a bonding moment and stuff. And it's like really, no, not yet, not yet. My bad. So anyway, let's get to Claire. Claire shows up and she's all like, "Oh, Claire, where you been?" Blah, blah, blah. And she's all like, "Oh, I can't stay long," and stuff like that. Then shows up Martin, and Fleabag cannot believe it. She literally is visibly upset. And then so when she talks to Claire and she talks to Martin, she literally keeps asking, "Oh, well, what is he doing here? Why is he here after what he did and stuff? And you said you was gonna leave him." So then Claire hits her with some devastating news, talking about, "I don't believe you. I don't believe he tried to kiss you. He said it was the other way around." And Fleabag is all like, that is not true. I'm your sister. You're supposed to believe me over him. And because we're family and stuff. And then it happens. The biggest revelation, the biggest twist reveal of them all. Claire tells her, "Why should I believe you after what you did to Boo?" And it's like, oh my God. So we get the flashbacks scattered here and there. Here's Boo, she's upset, talking about her man cheated on her and all this other stuff. And then we see her man, it's the black dude from the awkward black dude that we saw an episode ago. And then we see Fleabag unzip his pants and start making out with him. Fleabag is the catalyst of this all. She is the one who caused Boo's boyfriend to cheat. She is the one that caused Boo to get so upset that she wanted to teach her boyfriend a lesson. She is the one that caused Boo to make a misstep with her stupid, "I'm going to step into the road and get hit by a bike," when actually getting hit by a car thing. Boo is the reason why she is dead. I mean, she is the reason why Boo is dead. And it's just like, holy crap. If only she could like control her sexual libido and everything, her feminine wiles and stuff, like none of this would have happened. And she knew who Boo boyfriend was, and she still did it anyways. And she completely betrayed her best friend. And it's just like, holy crap, dude. This is one beyond flawed character. It's like, how does she redeem herself? And why should the audience like her? Well, then some other stuff happens. So upset, Fleabag decides to get drunk. And instead of serving the drinks, she's drinking them all. And then all of a sudden, she starts dropping glasses. All of them on the floor, the wine glasses. This upsets, of course, the godmother and the dad. The dad's all like, "You're making a spectacle of yourself. I'm not going to deal with this." And he pretty much berates her to where she's really down now, because now her sister has betrayed her. Her dad no longer wants nothing to do with her again after he was just coming around. And her godmother is being very snarky and like nasty rude to her, talking about, "You deserve," like the stuff that the dad said to her, talking about, "You deserve that," and stuff. So when she's outside, she sees her dad and they actually rekindle and they start to bond again. So things are starting to look up again until he sees the godmother, and he just stops talking to Fleabag and tells her, "I think you should leave now." Like, he literally chooses the godmother over Fleabag. So of course this causes her to spiral out of control. She decides she's gonna walk home from the party back to her cab. In the middle of the night, she's just walking all by herself, and she walks the entire way, doesn't even get a cab. And when we see her face, there's mascara running down her face because she's been crying the entire night. And the tone of the music and the tone of everything else that happens, something's bad is gonna happen. Suddenly, this show went from being cheerful to very dark and depressing. And you know exactly what she is about to do. She goes back into the cab. She slowly opens up the cage to the guinea pig. And then she slowly puts enough food in there for at least probably like a day to a couple of days, something like that. Depending on how fast they eat. I don't know how they eat. But some pretty big celery up in there. And then she slowly closes it back. And the music's getting eerier. And she steps outside. And she's standing in the same spot as Boo did. And then we see the flashbacks of Boo talking about how she's going to jump in front of the road and all this other stuff. And then She's contemplating it and she's about to do it. But then a car slowly pulls up on her. It's the bank loan guy. He brings her back inside. They talk a little bit. He thinks that this is a calf for like guinea pigs. He doesn't understand what kind of business it is. And then, still upset, she confesses big time to him, like about everything that's been going on with her, and stuff like that. And then she tells him how like she's the reason why like Boo's dead, and how she can't stop banging guys, and how she wishes she could stop, and how she wishes she never even knew what like sex was and stuff, and talking about how really the only thing she has going for her is her body, and that's the thing guys wants to use. And then once that starts to go downhill, guys aren't gonna want her no more, and what's she gonna do? And she's just bawling in tears and confessing to this dude, and the dude just kind of awkwardly is kind of like, whoa, I was not expecting this. Well, I'm gonna leave now. But then she also tells him that her place is getting liquidated and finna like go under, and she's about to lose her business, and he still leaves. And so I'm just like, dude, everybody just dumps on this woman and hates her and stuff. Even when she confesses and has like a nervous breakdown, people still abandon her. But then he shows back up. And when he shows back up, he has a paper form in his hand. And he's all like, we're gonna redo your interview for your loan and start from like scratch and everything. And so it's like, and he's giving her another chance at life, to help her business out. And this is what she wants. And it's just like, wow, man, things are finally probably gonna start like looking up. Or like he even though he wasn't expecting that nervous breakdown, he actually listened to her and everything, and and he understood like where she was coming from, because he is coming from dark places himself, when it comes to women and stuff. And so he really wants to like help her out. And then it ends. There is one huge complaint though, however, when it comes from fans of the play, is that Martin in the TV show is American, but in the play he's actually Scottish. This pissed off a lot of fans. Also, there are a couple of differences between the play and the TV show. In the play, the bank loan dude, he has a much smaller part. However, he is one of the only other voices that you hear in the play from the beginning to the end. Another difference is the guinea pig, Hillary. She actually gets kicked and is on the verge of dying. So Fleabag decides to put her out of her misery so she don't have to suffer anymore. So she strangles her to death. Yeah, it gets dark. Let's see, some other differences between the play and the show that I read. The calf does not stay open because Claire does not give her the investment. Also, the reason why nobody ever goes inside the calf is because it is known as the death calf because of Boo's death. Let's see. The relationship between Claire and Fleabag isn't that all that great. Like, she will say like, "Oh, I'll go for a drink with you," but then she doesn't. Claire doesn't go to I can't talk. Claire doesn't go to Finland. Something else that was really interesting. Oh, the fourth wall. She don't break the fourth wall in it. Let's see. Henry's supposed to be a little pudgy dude, but he's not in the show. The new dude that she ends up dating towards the end is supposed to be Ginger. Also, the godmother has a much smaller part. The priest in the second season, he's not in the play. And for the most part, that's really all there is that's like different. I mean, there's little teeny tiny things here and there, but it's not really that big of a deal. And there's also a dude named Joe in the play who does not show up in the show. I will say this, it is kind of cool how she adapted her own play, turned into a TV show, and made it like even more interesting and stuff. She could have just went like, scene from scene of the play, but she decided to change things up, which was, I do like when people do that. Because sometimes if it's just like, how it is in the original one, then people know exactly what's going to happen. Now, when I get to the second season, just to let you know, 371 days And I think 19 hours has passed from the first season. So it jumps forward in time. And some interesting stuff happens. But I'll get into that when I do the second review. But all in all, like I said, this is a really funny, entertaining, good show that takes you for a loop that towards the end that's just kind of like, whoa, like that was a twist. I don't like the flight attendant when the one male flight attendant dude shows up to be like a CIA agent. That was a twist, but it wasn't like a shocking, oh my god kind of twist, you know. But this twist at the end, my God, it was just insane. And like I said before, even though Fleabag is a very flawed character, she is very likable, mainly because one, she is funny. Two, when she has her nervous breakdown, well actually before that, like when you see the way her family treats her, it's really crummy. And it's like, even though she's a bad person, she's not truly like that bad evil, like, you know. And they just dump on her for the sake of dumping on her, kind of like Meg from the Family Guy show. And then, you know, when she has her nervous breakdown and she literally just throws her heart out in a huge confession, and some people listen and some people don't, and then it's just kind of like you can't help but to want to like feel sorry for this woman, you know. It's like she has stuff, but in reality she has absolutely nothing, you know. She has no moral support, she has no backup support, she doesn't have a strong foundation, you know. She's not happy with herself. She only sees her body as being the only good thing that like comes with her. And then of course, once you get older, you know, some people looks start to change. Well, everybody looks start to change. And some people like enhance theirs to make them look better, but some people don't. But then it's like, then once that, and if she literally thinks that's the only thing she has going for her, once that's all gone, then she really gonna feel like she is like a nobody and stuff, you know. Because when women get older, it's a whole lot harder for men or then men, because like, yeah, things are bad for men when they get older, but they still get opportunities where a lot of women, they don't and stuff. And it's really sad. Like, okay, like take for example, the woman who plays Jean Grey in the live action Fox X-Men movies, Famke Janssen. She is, I forgot how old she is, but I think she's in her 50s now. And when you look at her, she clearly has had work done on her face. And she put out a statement a couple of years back. It might have been 2017. I can't really remember. And she said that it's unfair that people treat women in their 40s a whole lot differently than they do men. She has not been asked back for like a huge role in those X-Men movies, despite her character coming back to life at the end of Days of Future Past. And when she has come back in those other movies, it was only like a cameo and that's it. And she said it's not fair because Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, they still get called back for like big X-Men roles. Hugh Jackman, of course, has his solo movies, or had, but he might be considered for the new MCU Wolverine, even though he said he's retired from it. And of course, Patrick Stewart is very up there in age. He's about like 70 or 80 or something. And he came back for the Logan movie and came back for Days of Future Past in a pretty good role and stuff. And she doesn't understand like why the older men get to come back, but the older women don't. And so it really, I can understand what Fleabag like is talking about, you know. And we've seen this so many times with a lot of actresses, and it's just like, and that's why you see so many older women in Hollywood whose faces look a little rubbery and stuff. Like, it's not because they're older, it's because they have had work done to them. And some of my like actresses that I like, I don't even recognize them. Heck, there's this one wrestler who still wrestles today, and she keeps getting plastic surgery on her face. And I do not recognize her. Like, it's been about 10 years since she debuted in the wrestling business, but it's like her face looks totally different. Like, she looks like a completely different person. And it's really sad that a lot of women feel like they have to do that to keep their looks up, you know, and to like get roles and stuff. And when they do that, they still are not getting roles. They look different. They look kind of younger, But because their face looks so awkward and stretched and blown up, nobody is hiring them because it's a little unsettling when you look at it because that's all you can stare at is their face and their enhanced lips and all this other crap. And it's not even the older women now, it's not some of the younger ones too. Like, okay, when I look at Bella Thorne does not look the same as she did when she was on her Disney days. Her lips look bigger, her boobs look bigger, and it's just like she's so young, and for whatever reason she did it, if she did it, she must have thought she was imperfect and stuff. And it's just like, just be natural, man. Go back to Fleabag. And so it's like, you can't help but to feel for this woman. And that's why she has those redeeming qualities, even though she's flawed, is because she is a very sad, lonely person. And a lot of her, the reason why she does the bad things that she does is a result of all the people around her dumping on her. So she is literally a result of other people's bad behavior and stuff. Like, how some people, when you get in an argument with them and they're all like, well, the reason why I'm this way is because of you. And then, of course, the first thing you want to do is deny, but like, no, you're the reason why you're that way. Most of the time, 50-50, yeah. 50 out of like 100, stuff like that. Yeah, it is that person's problem, the reason why they are. But other times, it is because of other people, the reason why they are. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.